Hi, it's Navi Robbins here. Let's get started on this journey. So, first and foremost, I want to introduce you to the cover, just in case you haven't seen it. You see it above my head here. Carton de Singe by Navi Robbins. Designed this cover myself. It took me about a week because I wanted something simplistic, something that looked worn and ancient, mysterious, creepy. Something that would push or force a reader or someone to look at this and be like, I don't know what this is about, but this shit look like it's gonna be lit. You know, I didn't want to give too much away as to what the story is about and all of the details. I didn't. I just wanted a person to see this cover and be like, holy shit, and compel them to turn it around to read the synopsis or what the story is about, which is one of the, as a graphics designer myself, when I design book covers for other authors, when I design book covers for publishing companies, just period, one of the key components of designing a book cover is creating an atmosphere of mystery. I do not design covers that give it away, because if a person can assume what the story is about, they can assume if it's for them or not, and you don't want that. Even if this isn't quite the genre they're used to reading, you still want the cover and the design to give off an idea of mystery, where the cover design draws them in, is compelling, but it forces them to ask a question. And the question that you always want from a reader: what is this about? If your book cover does not compel a reader or potential customer to ask that question, throw the whole cover away. You have to. The cover, if you ever watch, especially for horror or fantasy, if you ever looked at a Stephen King book cover, or Dean Koontz or Robert Patterson, or any of the big names, when you look at their cover, the cover is abstract, and 9 times out of 10, the imagery that you see on the cover doesn't really directly reflect, and I'm keyword directly reflect, what's in the pages. It's just a compelling, dynamic view of what to be expected, but you still have to expect the unexpected. And that is what's important when it comes to book cover designs. You cannot give it all away on your covers. You can't. That is a recipe for disaster and a lack of book sales, especially when you are trying to sell books in person. You're at a book fair event, book signing, maybe you're at Barnes & Nobles and you're doing a book signing. Maybe there's some people that's walking into the bookstore that aren't familiar with you as an author. That book cover should draw them in. Even if they're going to buy their favorite author, your book cover should draw them in. What is this about? And that's what you want. You want that question to be asked. And the only way that that question can be answered is if they buy the book. Because even the synopsis should give them a very brief, exciting, and dynamic overview, but the synopsis should also force the reader to have more questions. And the only way they can get those questions answered is inside the book. That's it. If your cover and your synopsis do not encourage this response, start over. Throw the whole book cover away, throw the synopsis away. Your synopsis should not be long and drawn out. The synopsis should not be giving away the story. The synopsis should not be giving away the juicy bits. The synopsis should just be that. A synopsis, a very small glimpse into the awesomeness that is inside of your book. Outside of that, giving away too much, encouraging a reader to assume what the story is about, encouraging a reader to assume that this is not something for them, is a fail. It's going to always be a fail. So designing this cover for me, I wanted it to create a sense of mystery. You see all of the different symbols, very subtle. The title itself, Carton de Singe. What does that mean? What is that? It's not overly thrown off. There isn't a lot going on. It's just a dynamic, mysterious book cover. And you know that there's some mysticism, little horror, little chef's kiss of horror with the blotch of blood and that circle. All of that. And if you are someone who reads this genre, you're going to be compelled to turn it around. Or I will hope that you will be compelled to turn it around and say, what the fuck is this about? What are we talking about here? Carton de Singe, what is that? Make you Google it. Like, what is this? Blood cotton. Oh, shit. What are we talking about here? You turn it around, and when you read the synopsis, baby, you're hooked. I got you. And once I got you with one of my books, I got you for life. We'll talk more. Peace.